Yeah, Ranch Jason, welcome back to some more Red Dragon Inn. This is an Allies box set, which is more of a versus box set than Allies, but it's Jin, the Master of Ceremonies, versus Greppa, the Vicious Mocker. So this guy adds a different flavor to the type of quote-unquote warriors that we have. So before we hop into that, a couple of things to go over really quick is if you're not familiar with Red Dragon Inn, you can definitely check out lots of my older videos on it. But just a heads up / warning for people that this game is based off adventures from like a D&D party that would be going to the bar or the tavern, as it were, the Red Dragon Inn Tavern, after their adventure, and having kind of a drinking / gambling game. So there are cards referenced taking drinks, that's half the game. You have a drink deck that you're playing with, and you are trying not to either lose all your money or get too intoxicated before every other player. That's the core concept of the game. And then there's also a little gambling mini game in there, which is just, it's more like you play a card to say you're gambling, and then the last person in the gambling part gets to collect more money. So you're not actually like spending any real earned money of yourselves. It's all in-game stuff. But I know that some people might have an issue with drinking or gambling as a game. So if that is something that offends you, or it's not something that your taste in game styles, this is not the game for you. It's not, you don't personally have to drink or actually do any actual gambling. It is core concepts of the game. So with that said, the second thing I want to bring up is this is the Kickstarter edition. So everything in here is going to be the exact same, with the exception of there are a handful of Kickstarter exclusive cards, which we'll look at the end. I am also going to go over some additional promos from another, the Dragon Ale Tiki Mug Kickstarter they did as well. So there will be about 7 to 10 cards or so that are exclusive cards that won't be a part of the retail set. Just make sure you keep an eye out for Kickstarter if you want that Kickstarter exclusive stuff. So without further ado, let's hop in and see this. So what do we have? Of course, this is the expansion of Red Dragon Inn, not a standalone product. You'll need a drink deck from another Red Dragon Inn to play. So now what's kind of neat there is you need another full game to play, but you only need a game, at least one expansion that has a drink deck. There are some smaller expansions that have one of the drink decks, or you might have one from a different set, like the, sometimes they have expansions that have like just 1 or 2 characters that have one, so there's not like, you don't need a full base game for all the extra tokens. You just need one of the full decks to play, which I think is like 20 some cards, 24 cards, I could be wrong on that. So then we have in there, it's going to say at the bottom, Kickstarter contents is you're going to have your 40-card Jing deck, 14-card Song deck, 40-card Greppa deck, 15 Mocker deck, plus their 15-card boss deck, the 4 prize forest cards, and 2 promo drink cards. So of them, prize and promo drink cards, the 2 promo drink cards are, and 2 of the prizes are Kickstarter exclusive. There are 2 prize cards that do come in here. We also have a brand new Tavern, 6-card Tavern drink deck. So that's the mechanic that came out in set 8, I believe. No, 5. I think it was 5 or 8. One of those. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it adds a new mode to the game, so you can kind of have like an extra little side quest to go on during the game, as well as some bunch of tokens and playmats and stuff. Alright, so what do we have here? We have the Master of Ceremonies, Jing, scraping by as a busker. Jim noticed that he earned more coin when he encouraged audience participation. Now everyone at the Red Dragon Inn looks forward to a sing-along nights with Jing and his traveling Song of Fire 9003, Penny Patents, and Copperforge and Greyport, which are the other 2 big towns. Yes, so the good Jim will help you find your best performance, the bad, even if it's terrible. And on Greppa, we have the Vicious Mocker. Most bards spend their time encouraging their friends. A saltier if you know that bringing your enemies down a peg or two can be just as effective. Greppa's extensive library of insults, retorts, and zingers and one-liners pairs with her head-banging tunes to ensure our heroes never get too full themselves. Her wicked shredding will hurt your ears. Worse, her vicious mockery will shred you to tears. So, normally we have our standard, like warriors and mages and artificers and things like that, thieves and rogues. Here we actually have two bards. So bards are musical characters. So we have Jing, who's the human bard, and then we'll have Greppa, who's the goblin bard. So they're both musical characters. So it's not saying they couldn't go out on adventures or fantasy if you're playing that game. They do have another version of the game where you actually get to play as the characters doing that. But yeah, we have one that's focused on a singing deck, and Jenny's going to be having songs that are going to get played, and Greppa's going to be playing on a mockery deck, which is really fun because I like both decks. Also include images from all the other characters from other sets, which is always fun as well. So let's go ahead and hop into what we all have in here as well. We always have our extra gold and our fortitude and inebriated tokens to keep track of all that. So if you ever need more of them. And that was just included, so after you start buying a bunch of these, you have way too many of all of these. So let's take a look at Jing to begin with. So here's his dashboard. Turn this a bit so we get some of this glare off of there. There we go. So he's going to have a song deck on one side, discard pile, a set list at the top, otherwise it's deck, discard, and drink me. So special activations is in your turn order, you're going to reveal a song to begin with, then you do your standard draw and discard, action, order a drink, and drink a card. So he will have special song cards we can play, which will be referenced on various cards. They will always both have their, we also get a deck divider for them. So if you have one of the bigger boxes, you can sort them out with the deck dividers. Alright, so here's how it works. So shuffle the song deck and put it near your playmat. Reveal the top 3 cards of the song deck, put them in front of your playmat. These are your set lists. If you reveal Hyping Up the Crowd, discard without replacement. Songs at the beginning of your turn or whenever you play a card, the musical note in the icon on the bottom left, reveal a song add to your set list. If the set list ever has more than 3 songs in it, discard songs to your choice until it's down to 3. Whenever a card effect causes a player to sing, that player chooses a song from the set list and plays it. It can be responded to as if there were an action card played from the hand. So you're going to have 3 cards out at max at a time, and you're going to force other players to sing songs which will make them do various effects. So you're kind of coercing them with your bardic abilities to do some stuff. Alright, so that's your guys' decks. We're going to look at quickly the ones that are in just about every single deck everywhere. Is you have 2 copies of Gambling I-Man. So it's an action gambling card. So start a round gambling. Each player, including you, must ante or take control of a round of gambling. And we have, we had 6 copies of that. We have 2 copies of I-Raise, which is another gambling card. Take control of a round of gambling. Each player, including you, must ante again. And we have 2 cards of Winning Hand. Take control of the round of gambling. The next player to take control must be a cheating card. So I think every single character, I think there's 40 plus characters throughout the entire series of Red Rising Inn, have those cards. Maybe not always in those exact numbers, but those are the standard cards. There's a few more that everybody have. Or at least have some slight variation of it. We have the wench thinks you should stop playing with the drinks. Says negate a sometimes card that changes the effects of a drink. This includes a negate, ignore, split the drinks, pass the drink to other players, or alters any of the drink effects. This card can only be affected by I don't think so. And we get a copy of I don't think so. Negate a sometimes card. This card can only be affected by another I don't think so. So these are the standard cards. Then we have all fairly brand new cards. Now some of these, I will say, they're kind of the exact same effects in everybody's deck, but they have completely different names. See why I don't count them as this list. We have 2 copies of I Bring the Crowds, They Share the Tips. You may play this card when you are about to lose gold. Use gold from the inn rather than your own stash. Inspired, what a show. You may play this card immediately after a player sings. There's 2 alcohol content and draw 2 cards from your character deck. Request costs extra. Pick another player, they pay you 1 gold. And there you'll have the little note down in the corner. We have 2 copies of I'm busy with the fans at the moment. You may play this card when you must ante. Instead of ante, you may leave the round of gambling or ignore a song. 2 copies of technical difficulties. Etching to the back of his music box. Ignore an action sometimes or anytime card that affects your fortitude, or ignore a song. We have Look Who Just Volunteered, and I love we get all the different other characters in there. You may play this card immediately after you lose fortitude from a card played by another player. You may not play this card if you reduce that fortitude loss. That player sings. So if they target a fortitude loss, you can instead force them to sing. So I have 2 copies of Not Now, I'm Recording, Ignore a Drink. Reveal the drink first. That's not a drinking horn. Give the drink you are about to drink to another player. That drink against the effect you sing. 2 copies of Let's Make a Duet. Split a drink you are about to drink to the player. You each take half the rounded up drink's effect. Rounding up, reveal the drink first. How about a rowdy drinking sing-along? Each player, including you, reveals a drink with the possible chases from the drink deck and drinks it. If a player reveals a drink event before revealing a drink, that player discards and reveals again. I'm still working on the up-temperator. Pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude. And we have 2 copies of Oops, I'm just setting the player up for you. Pick another player, they lose 1 fortitude, then sing. 2 copies of Some People Need to Get a Little Boost to Get on Stage. Pick another player, they lose 1 fortitude, then sing. Did I say boost? I meant boots. We have 2 copies of Break a Leg, Wait, Not Like That. Pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude, then sing. I've got just the song for you. Pick another player, they sing a song of your choice from the set list. So here you get to pick which one. 2 copies of Here's a Drink and a Song for You. You may play this card during an order of drink phase in your turn. Order 2 additional drinks for free. Drinks you order may be placed on any other player's drink me piles. This will amp up the pot. Take control of the round of gambling. Put a song from the set list into the pot. The winner of the round sings that song. This song's a real winner. Take control of the round of gambling. And the last one he has there is I'm gonna need a new hand. Take control of the round of gambling. Discard a song from the set list. So normally if they have to sing, opponent has to sing, they get to choose what song they want to pick. So they have 3 options. So that's why your kind of idea of rotating some of them in and out kind of lets you dictate somewhat what's going to happen. So if there's a song list, and lots of them they're pretty funny, and they have different guys singing on them. I have Tord here. Lich Better Have My Money. The singer discards a card from their hand. If they don't discard an action card, they pay 1 gold to the end. How Deep Is Your Mug? With the Wendy, not Wendy, it's the wench. I don't think her name is Wendy, though. The singer gains 1 alcohol content and orders a drink. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. An ale after midnight. The singer and the player, to the singer's right, each gain 1 alcohol content. The Barbarian Rhapsody. The singer loses 1 fortitude. Each other player than the singer pays the singer 1 gold. Burning Away Again in Fire Waterville. The singer loses 1 fortitude and gains 1 alcohol content. Hungry Like the Wolfman. The singer gains 2 alcohol content. Each player other than the singer loses 1 fortitude. Scrying Eyes Are Watching You. The singer draws 1 card from their character deck, then discards 3 cards from their hand. I Come From the Bar Down Under. The singer gains 1 alcohol content. I Want to Be Your Warhammer. The singer loses 1 fortitude and discards a card from the hand. If there's an action card, each player other than the singer loses 1 fortitude. Mage's Collegium Fight Song. Let's go Wizards. The singer discards a card from their hand. If they don't discard a sometimes card, they gain alcohol content. The Mummy Rot Blues. The singer and the player to the singer's left each lose 1 fortitude. There ain't no cure for the Mummy Rot Blues. You Only Love Me for My Heels. The singer picks another player. That player gains 1 fortitude. The singer discards the top of their Drink Me pile. Why Must I Be a Skeleton in Love? And How Did You Know It Was Me? The singer picks another player. That player discards the top card of the Drink Me pile. And then the last song card we have is Hyping Up the Crowd, which is an immediate one. So when this triggers, it just automatically goes when it goes away. When Jin reveals a song, each other player gains 1 fortitude. Cool. So that's a very interesting mechanic, right? You have different options that are going to affect people over time. But they kind of get a choice most of the time of what they want to take. So they can maybe, if it says, oh, I have to discard this card, they can opt if they want to take the hit for not discarding that, or discard it if they have it. Very cool. Alright, then we have Greppa the Vicious Mocker, who is a goblin. So Greppa says, shuffle the Mockery deck and place it where you can reach it. So here's her Mockery deck. Many cards in Greppa's deck will cause a player to get mocked. When a player gets mocked, they reveal the top card of their Mockery deck and carry out its effect, then put the card in front of them. The top effect may respawn as though it were an action card played from Greppa's hand. The player negates or ignores the Mockery card, it goes to the Mockery discard pile. So when they get it, they can react to it. If they don't, then they place it in front of them. And it's going to now have a permanent effect until they get rid of it. Shake It Off. At any time, a player may pay Shake It Off cost showing on the Mockery card in front of them to get the accompanying effect. If they do, they put this card in the Mockery discard pile. Shake It Off abilities may not be negated, nor reduced, increased, redirected, hit back, or otherwise avoided. Rule applies to both the effect and the cost. So if it says you have to discard a card or you have to drink a drink, you have no way of negating that effect. So there's a Goblin Bard. And then they don't get the back side of this. So like Jin here has like little squares. That's because he's a hero character. An adventure. This is a bad guy or the villain. That's why I said it's more of a versus set. And they get the more plain backs. It's alright. We're going to have 6 copies of I'm Gambling, I'm In, just like before. We have 2 copies of I Raised, but the difference is that villain hands in there instead. 2 winning hands. We have 1 copy of The Wench Think You Should Stop Playing With the Drinks. And this is the wench from the, I can't think of the name of the bar. It's the Dungeon Bar. It's the villains had their own bar that's like underground, underneath the Red Dragon, and this is the Gorgon, waitress in there. Then we also have a couple more cards that are unlocked to the deck. We have 2 copies of Wench, Bring These Drinks for some of these losers. Usually it's my friends, but villains are a little bit meaner. When you play this card during your order a drink phase of your turn, pay 1 gold to the inn, order 2 additional drinks. We have Tip the Wench. Pick a player, they pay 1 gold to the inn. And then we have the I Don't Think So card. Alright, then for her actual deck, we have 2 copies of Hey, There's Loot in My Loot. You may play this card when you're about to lose gold. Use gold from the inn rather than from your own stash. So we did have one like that in Jin's deck, but it had a different name. What's Up Your Sleeve? Take control of a round of gambling. Pick another player, force them to leave the round of gambling. Ha, you make this too easy. Pick another player, they get mocked. 2 copies of You Gotta Be Thick-Skinned in This Business. Ignore an action, sometimes or anytime card that affects your fortitude. 2 copies of the Power Slide. Ignore a drink, reveal the drink first. Here, hold my beer. Give a drink you're about to drink to another player, that player gets mocked. 2 copies of And Now an Ode to Incompetence. You dish out a backhanded compliment. Pick another player, they lose 1 fortitude and get mocked. Here's a little story about a loser who's sore. Ignore an action sometimes or anytime card that affects your fortitude alcohol content. The player who played that card gets mocked. 2 copies of Not Now, Vicious Digs Don't Write Themselves. You may play this card when you must ante instead of ante. You may leave the wrong of gambling or ignore an event. We have, hey, that was my drink, Fumble Fingers. Ignore a drink, pick another player, they get mocked. It's not the game that's stupid, hun. Take control wrong of gambling, the player is previously in control gets mocked. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but my sick riffs will burn you. Pick another player, they lose 1 fortitude. If they have a mockery card in front of them, they lose 3 fortitude instead. Players may shake off at any time. We have 2 kabongs. Pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude. 2. Hoo boy, I got a good one for you. You may play this card immediately after you lose fortitude from a card played by another player. You may not play this card after you reduce that fortitude loss. Player gets mocked. Combat Karaoke. Pick up to 2 players, they each lose 1 fortitude and pay you 1 gold. A dagger in the back and a dagger in the fields. Pick another player, they lose 2 fortitude and get mocked. And then finally, Truth Hurts, Don't It? Pick another player, they lose 1 fortitude and get mocked. Awesome. And then we'll look at our mockery cards. So we have, you can't even spell inebriation. Gain 2 alcohol content. And then shake it off with the top card from your Drink Me deck into your Drink Me pile, lose 1 alcohol content. Did you hear what that guy said about you? Lose 2 fortitude, shake it off, it's discard sometimes or anytime card to gain 1 fortitude. Who does your hair? A cross-eyed cyclops? Pay 1 gold to the Yang. Shake it off, discard sometimes, gain 1 gold from the Yang. Oh yeah? Well, it takes 1 to know 1. You and Greppa each lose 1 fortitude. Shake it off, lose 1 fortitude, you draw 2 cards from your character deck. Ooh, you're so clever. Discard 2 cards from your hand. Shake it off, gain 1 alcohol content. Draw 1 card from your character deck. Here's to the legend in his own mind. Drink the top card from the Drink Me deck. Shake it off, give the top card to Drink Me pile to another player. You may not place ability during that player's drink phase. Wow, you'll loot anything, won't you? You should pull it out about Mimic. Pay 1 gold to the Yang and pay 1 gold to Greppa. Shake it off, discard your hand, gain 2 gold from the Yang. You must have a card in hand to pay this cost. Did mommy knit your armor? Lose 2 fortitude. Shake it off, pay 1 gold to Greppa, gain 1 fortitude. If Greppa is in the game, pay it to the Yang instead. Your dirt's looking a little flaccid. Lose 1 fortitude. Shake it off, discard 3 cards from your hand, gain 1 fortitude. Some healing is more temporary than others, I guess. Lose 2 fortitude. Shake it off, is pay 1 gold to Greppa and gain 1 fortitude. You're more stewed than yesterday's mutton. Gain 1 alcohol content. Shake it off, gain 1 alcohol content. Order 2 drinks, you may not place ability during another player's drink phase. Spellbook, more like smellbook. Discard your hand and draw 3 cards from your character deck. Shake it off, lose 2 fortitude, shuffle your discard pile into your character deck. You got a face only a troll could love. Gain 2 alcohol content. Shake it off is pay gold to Greppa, lose 1 alcohol content. Don't feel bad, everyone fizzles once in a while. Discard a sometimes card from your hand if you can't reveal your hand. Shake it off, lose 1 fortitude, you draw 2 cards from your character deck. And you're as sharp as a mallet. Your hand size is reduced by 1. Shake it off, gain 2 alcohol content, Greppa gets mocked. If Greppa is still in the game, discard this card. Yeah, so very interesting. You can kind of see the difference between Jing's deck where you get to kind of pick your punishment. Where this one, it's drawing a random card, so you don't even get the option. I almost wish it was more. Greppa had like 3 of these in her hand, and then she got to pick which one to hand to a player. I just think because that would have been more interesting. As you kind of getting to choose what mockery you want to give to another player. And then the other thing is, I like this one where it's a minus a permanent reduction or an ongoing effect. Where all the other ones are like, do this one thing, and then you can pay shake it off to gain something. Where there doesn't seem to be any penalty for having one of these mockery cards. If there was something to say like, oh, you're losing, like, again, if it was a permanent effect, I could see getting rid of it, but it's like, I already got hit by the effect once. I can't see a lot of the times you want it. You really have to worry about getting rid of one. Like obviously, gaining extra fortitude might be worth it. Gaining 2 gold from the aim for discarding a card. Some of them aren't too bad. Drawing 2 cards, but like, it's kind of interesting because it's not like, oh, I got mocked, I need to hurry up and try and pay this off as quickly as possible. It's sit around and get rid of it when you want. And I don't think there's anything that says you can't have, I don't think there's anything that says you can't have multiple mockery cards. All it says is you cannot pay it multiple times to get it multiple. So yeah, just checking. There's of course specific rules for certain characters. It says obviously you can't pay off costs if you can't afford it, such as gaining alcohol if you're already at 20. The only other thing to kind of note in there is if you're playing with Otto, the AI character, if he gets realize mockery card, takes his effect track on Greppa's side, then discards it. Note the mockery cards will have no effect on Otto, such as you want to make him discard cards or pay gold to the aim. But remember that Otto will respond to any cards with effective fortitude. So he gets them, but then they kind of just go away. And also to note with that is for Jing. Says while playing with the Otto variant, Otto cannot sing. An effect would make him sing. He instead does nothing. The immediate effect still causes him to lose fortitude. Because he's a robot. He doesn't sing, I guess. Alright, then along with Greppa, we have an additional 15 cards, which are boss cards, which always have the little dragon in the corner. This is if you want to add them to her deck to then now play a 2 versus 1 game. So a team of 2 players versus 1 player against her. You get add a couple of decks to make them a boss, which is always a fun extra thing to be able to do. The backs will all be the same, so you won't know what they are. They just have the dragons to sort them out afterwards. So we have excessive loot, so your turn ends now. Do not order a drink. Until the next beginning of your turn, you may not play cards. You ignore all effects, and players may not pick you, and their effect asks them to pick a card. Come on, drink like you mean it. You may play this card during the order a drink phase of your turn. Order 3 additional drinks for free. Pick another player. They drink the top drink on their drink me pile. We will mock you. On the day of sometimes card, the player who played that card gets mocked. This card cannot affect, I don't think so, or the wench thinks to stop playing with drinks. You'll need a cold one after this burn. Pick another player, they get mocked. Then they drink the top drink of the drinks deck. The first rule of villainy, shred. Each other player discards a sometimes card from their hand unless they reveal a card. No sometimes cards. Each other player loses 1 fortitude. This card cannot be negated or ignored. She gets another I don't think so. It's kind of fun being the boss. Get a second copy of Here's a Little Story About a Loser Who's Sore. We have 2 costume changes. I do love that when you see the regular versions of her cards, like this one, versus the The boss deck, she has a different outfit on. So if we actually look at a different one there, you'll see she has a black hat on instead of a red hat. She has glowing eyes on. Like, there's a full outfit. She has, if I can grab another. I have another better picture of her just standing there. Yeah, I always love this, the boss thing. She has a different outfit on. She has like a full dress instead of a little collared sleeve. But yeah, she has like glowing eyes. Yeah. I just think that's always a neat thing too that they've done with the boss cards, is they give them a different, like, powered up look. So here, yeah, she has costume change. Funny I mentioned it when this card came up. Ignore a drink or ignore an event. Either case, gain 1 fortitude and lose 1 alcohol content. Yeah, I'm pretty bad axe. Each other player loses 1 fortitude. Pick another player, they get mocked. 2 copies of yeah. Draw cards from your character deck equal to the number of opponents you have up to a maximum of 4. Pick another player, they get mocked. If it's your action phase, you may play another action card this phase. Kind of like Hellfire, but then she also has a coffin guitar instead of their normal loot, or a coffin loot maybe. 2 copies of Time for Some Vicious Blockery. Ignore an action sometimes or anytime card that affects your fortitude or alcohol content. With the top card of your mockery deck, you may put it back on the top or bottom of your deck. And then the last one is, let's turn this up to 11. Take control of round of gambling. Each other player in the round must ante again. Draw cards from your character's deck until you have 11 cards in hand. So very cool. So yeah, it's just supposed to give them a little extra advantage, giving them a few more cards because you have 2 players to contend with. But it also has some actually new abilities and stuff. Cool. We forgot to look at her board. So we'll take a look at that quick. Nothing special on it, though. It's probably why I forgot to grab it. Just turn over a discard. Everything else is the same. She doesn't have any extra special piles. Awesome. So then the next thing we're going to look at is our brand new tavern. Now, I'm not going to go through the full tavern mode. You can check it out in one of the other videos. But we have the High Note, which is one of our new taverns. I think this brings us up to, like, 8 taverns now. So you have different ones you can go to, and you can go like a pub crawl. Can you use the tavern in just this game? So here actually we have this. The High Note's new tavern features the pub crawl variant, introducing Red Dragon 8. You will need a copy of Red Dragon to play this variant. So, can you use this in this? Not really. You could probably look up the rules. It might say something about going to a pub, but I think you have to go to multiple of them. So maybe if you own multiple that were outside of that set, you might be able to build up enough decks to do that and just use the regular rules. But by its standard self, it's not really usable here. It's kind of an extra expansion. So there is that. So we have a tavern event. It says Greyport's Got Talent. Each player pays 1 gold into this card. The player who causes the tavern to close gains the gold on it. So the tavern closes after you've finished off all 6 drink cards. So let's take a look at some of those. We got on the back, it's just the standard picture of the core group from the base set, so that way you can shuffle these together. So if you don't want to know which one you're getting, it has a deck divider as well. With on the back, it's going to list the drinks that are in that deck. So if you ever need to know which ones they are, although they do have little expansion symbols on them. The backs of these cards will have the High Note on them, just to show that they are specifically for this deck, and they can't be mixed into other drink decks unless you would use opaque backs. So we have the Malicious Fizz. Drink 2, reveal a random card from your discard pile, and then put it in your hand. We have the Hottie Toddy. Lemon and honey, interesting. Drink 2 and gain 1 health, a remedy for sore throats and sobriety. And then we get the Hot Toddy with the Chaser. So then it gives the little other one in the back there. And then we have the Low Note with a Chaser. although we don't have just the low note. This card chaser always comes from the bottom of the drink deck, no matter where this card came from. We have the Gure Mead. Drink 3, Gure Mead was not the result of a drink event or chasing. They split it with up to 2 other players. Gure Mead cannot affect any other player that splits a drink card. And then finally we have an event card called Dueling Pianos. Each player loses 1 fortitude. They're smacking each other with pianos, which is pretty funny. So that's pretty cool. So if you like the tavern mode, this will give you another set to get it. So it's kind of a neat way to introduce them without having to release another full box set of extra taverns. Alright, then the last 2 stuff for the main thing is we have some prize cards. So we have Busker's Hack. So Busker's like you play it out on the street and people toss coins in when you walk by. That's what this is supposed to be. But you see they're throwing garbage and broken stuff in there, and there's like 1 coin. When you win this prize, add to the prize bin. Then reveal the top card of your character deck. If it's a gambling card, discard it and gain 1 gold. Otherwise, put it in your hand. And the other one is the Scroll of Shattering Song. Next time you reveal a drink with a possible chasers, put this card in the prize bin and change the effects of the drink to lose 1 fortitude. So just a quick note, and I'm not going to read through all of this, but basically how do prizes work? It's while you're gambling, if you have a prize card, you can, players must choose 1 prize card from the inn, you add it into the pot, and whoever wins gets that prize card. And then you spend it by adding it to the prize bin. Whenever it tells you to spend it, might be an immediate effect, might be when you choose to use the effect. Then it goes back into the prize bin. Where there are no more prizes in the inn, you take all the stuff from the prize bin that have been spent, and you add them back in. The idea is just to give the gambling a little bit extra flair for the game. So if instead of just playing for gold or possibly a drink, if someone plays another card, it gives you kind of the fun thing to like get a little extra reward that's going to be a little bit different every time. And then the more and more prize cards you get, you can either mix and match more of them, or you can just have a lot more different ones. So yeah, with this box set, you get 2 of them, right? So cool. Now you can add 2 different prizes in there, gives you a little bit extra variety. If you got the Kickstarter, you're going to get 2 more of them, so you would have had 4 total. So yeah, just fun to kind of pick up for that. Cool. Alright, so that was what we had for Jing vs. Greppa. So yeah, a fun musically themed set. I do kind of like these. I like the versus sets, the ally sets, the versus things. Actually, all the allies have been neat because they're kind of like they're theming together, whether it's heroes or villains theming. But it's a cool way to get 2 extra characters quick. I'd rather have a double pack than a single pack, because as long as you're gonna play against somebody else, you need to be like, hey, we can each try a new character for a 2-player game, or you can buy like a big box set if you want 4 new characters to play if you're playing a bigger group. When you only add 1 new character, makes it a little bit more challenging to be like, I guess I'll play the new character, but you know, it just kind of depends. It's never a bad thing either. Yeah, so and this is another aspect of kind of like playing around modern convention with like the karaoke, or kind of like a I guess Greppa, I want to say like a singing comedian almost. But yeah, it could just, how do you add, what more do you add to the bar thing to make something interesting? So I wonder if like maybe they'll ever make a set that's gonna have like a dancing themed character. And that could be kind of cool. Like maybe like, you know, like they did another set. Hopefully not the next set, but maybe like in the future. Kind of neat, like a one that does like a break dancing type style thing, and maybe you have cards where they accidentally kick the beer or trip somebody else, or you have somebody else that's maybe like a dancer, like a ballroomy type dancer that maybe like pulls them, or maybe they just do a bunch of dances. Maybe they go from like break dancing to like line dancing to like the waltz, to like different stuff like that. And that'd be kind of an interesting thing. Like they keep switching up their dancing style. Maybe it gives them a different ability depending on which dancing they're doing. Could be interesting because you dance sometimes at the taverns. And if you have guys playing music, definitely see that. So cool. So now we're going to look at the Kickstarter cards. There are 4 cards that were from the Kickstarter exclusive stuff. We have, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, we have a brand new drink. We have the, the Bombas is okay for Kickstarter. The Geyer Chicken Eggnog. Drink for 3 and plus 12. If the Geyer Chicken Eggnog was not resolved a drink event, or in other case, you may split with another player. The Geyer Egg Chicken Nog. The Geyer Chicken Eggnog cannot be affected by another player that splits a drink. And then we have a new event. Open Mimic Night. The microphone is a mimic. It's kind of funny. Eating her hair back there. In turn order, each player must attack the mimics by discarding an action card that would cause a player to lose fortitude or gain alcohol content. Each player that does not discard an action card this way loses 1 fortitude. So that's pretty cool. Pretty fun. And then we have a Bard in a Box. That's pretty neat. When you win this prize, add to the prize bin, then gain 2 fortitude and pay 1 gold to the inn. So it's kind of neat also something like this, right? If you put this in the prize pile and you're gambling, it might convince people not to win their own gambling because maybe they're like, I don't need the fortitude or I can't afford to spend the gold. Because it's a forced action with that one. Or we have the Wicked Shredding Hat, which is Greppa's hat. I always like when they kind of include like items from the characters in there. Next time another player loses fortitude, add this card to the prize bin and gain 1 fortitude. Cool. So that's what we have for those 4 cards. Then the last thing I want to show off is they had a promo for the Dragon Ale Tiki Mug, which is based off the Dragon Ale drink card. It's a little dragon mug. I don't have the card with me, or I could show it off. Oh, here. We have a card. Artwork will kind of show what it looks like. It's going to look kind of like that mug. So they made little ceramic tiki mugs that you could buy. I did not purchase one. At the time, I might maybe pick them up in the future, but at the time, I was like, I didn't really see a need for it other than a decoration type thing. I didn't really have room for it, personally. But I did pick up some promo cards. There's 3 promo cards that went with that. They're also listed as Kickstarter exclusive because they were during that funding, so I don't know if they'll re-release them separately or if that ever comes out like from their web store, if they'll release them that way. But let's take a look at the cards anyhow. So we have Goblin Breath Ale, and again, a little K for Kickstarter. Says, gain 2 alcohol, order a drink. A smell you can taste. Delicious. Then we have the Dragon Shield Elixir. Put this card in front of you. Next time you reveal a drink with a total alcohol content of 4 or more, you may play this card as though it were a sometimes card with the effect Ignore a Drink. And then the last ones, we have a brand new event, which is the Double Dragon. Pick another player, you and that player each get a drink with the effect gain 4 alcohol content, as though you revealed it from the drink deck. Come on, Deirdre, it's your favorite. What? No, it's your favorite. Oh yeah, gulp. So it's kind of a fun one. You can force guys to, and that'd be even funnier if you ended up having this card already ready and you could just skip it. Like, hey, we're gonna drink this, and you'd skip it. So that'd be kind of neat too. Awesome. So that's what we have for the Red Dragon Inn, Greppa versus Jing, and the Kickstarter promo cards, the brand new tavern. So yeah, if you want to pick it up, if you really think these characters look like fun, you want to try them, you can definitely do that. Otherwise, yeah, you can pick it up if you really like the tavern. I don't know if it's worth picking up just for the tavern if you don't like these characters at all. But again, if you have a game group, someone might like them. But although, like I said, there's, at this time, like 40-some characters you can get. So it might be more worth buying, a set that you like versus just the one tavern set. Even on that note, I do kind of hope that it'd be kind of nice in the future if maybe now that they have several different taverns outside of these set 8, if they maybe made like a mini box set that just had the taverns for people that don't want to rebuy all the players. Not adding extra new cards, not add Kickstarter stuff to it, just be like, hey, here's a mini expansion with here's taverns 1 through 5 or whatever from the original set, here's like the next 4. And then maybe every once in a while just release little mini boxes with just those. Just that way people that don't want to buy each of those individual characters have an option for that mode as well. See you guys later. Bye.